Hello, and welcome back to my channel. This is Reality with Divity. How are you doing? In honor of Mother Wendy, um, I'm gonna do two quick synopses, real quick. Like I said, it's gonna be really brief. I'm not going to into a lot of detail on this. I'm going to go by memory and what I gleaned from the conversation, and then I'm going to give my commentary. I'm not going to do any audio. I'm not going to do the video visual of Destiny and having this conversation. Like I said, I'm just going to pick out a few little things that I noticed about Destiny. Now, I've always said Destiny was problematic for me. She, even though it was said that she was a private person, she didn't give enough for you to even, after LeBarrett put the gag order on her allegedly, she still didn't really give enough to pull out anything significant to really know about her. She had that hour-long interview with Dr. Heavenly, and to me, it was like nails on a chalkboard. Destiny, I still don't know you. I don't know if it's just your personality or you're still trying to hold something to the vest, but it was like, oh my goodness. And really, honestly, I think that you think that you're telling something. You're not. I love the way you put Madani together, how it's your grandmother's name and your father's name. I knew your dad's name was Donnie. And then you gave Dr. Heavenly some gifts. That's how I started out. And then the first, I want to know, Dr. Heavenly, I want to know. What, girl, you that girl? You are her? I was like, Dr. Heavenly. Okay. And then it seemed like she spent 30 minutes talking about, you are her. Dr. Heavenly, you need to work on your interviewing skills, sis. Facts. Because for the simple fact that you were still blowing smoke up Destiny's behind. Now, I don't know if Melody will be willing to give you another interview, but you definitely need to interview. From this conversation, you need to let Melody, in my opinion, give a rebuttal. Okay? So, she brings up Destiny herself, like she's interviewing Dr. Heavenly, and says, well, you did have a lot to say about me getting money from people in the cast. First of all, Moses was my man, and she was asking, and then yeah, you were supposed to get money from him. Not in the way that Destiny does it. Like I said in my previous video, it seems to me like she does it like in a manipulative manner. Like you're supposed to do things for me, and I'm just going to sit back on my AWS and just visualize you taking care of me. Now, this is one thing, if you pay attention to Moses, this is one thing that turned him off. He's like, I'm doing everything. It's like I'm giving. She's taking. And what am I getting out of the deal except for a little tussie? Then she brings up Melody. Okay, so here we go. We cannot do an interview just about Destiny. We have to bring up Melody. So she brings up Melody, and she lies and says that Melody exaggerated the number of dollars that she gave her, monies, if you will. Said that it was around $6,000 and Mel said 5. Okay, let me reference that. And she said, well, I did things for her. Here we go with the rental car again. Well, when her credit got messed up after the divorce, I did things for her. We had a true friendship. You couldn't have had a true friendship, my dear, when you're next door talking to the ops about her. You don't get that. You never bring that up in the interviews about how you could at least say, Melanie thought I was talking about her, and I apologize, but you never did. And you never have apologized to her for that, which leads me to believe that you and Tisha were indeed talking about her. And you know, from a Scorpio's perspective, and I'm talking as a Scorpio, we don't do that. Either you come to me and apologize about it. If I tell you I heard you talking about me, and you don't come to me and apologize to me about it, or you don't even admit that you were indeed talking about me, I don't got nothing for you. And Dr. Heaven is also a Scorpio, and she said that. And she's like, well, you know, Scorpio is hard to forgive. And she said, I'm a Taurus. Yeah, well, if you're a Taurus and she's a Scorpio, then those two things don't match, honey. They're going to butt heads, literally and figuratively. Okay? Because I don't run in behind no Taurus, and I don't expect no Taurus to run in behind me. And yeah, that bull represents bullheadedness. But when you're wrong, you're wrong. And I believe Melody 100%. Because like I said, former foster children know how to manipulate you. And what I think he is a doctor now. Yeah. Dr. Mathis, Judge Mathis says. I'm going to call him a doctor because he can peep the bullshit real easy. And what he says, it's called dry bag. You are an expert at it, girl. Expert. A phenomenon. Okay? Nobody can beat you in that genre. Okay? Now, they also got on to Sonny and Moses, and this is going to be real quick because, like I said, I never really got to know anything about Destiny other than this Sonny and Moses conversation. And I feel like she felt like she had to talk to Dr. Heavenly in her closet in response to what Dr. Heavenly says on Messy Mondays. And I think that Carlos King facilitated this conversation. Well, get your ass over there and facilitate a conversation between Melody and Dr. Heavenly as well. If you can't do that, because it seems to me that Melody doesn't have a lot for your black ass either. Okay? But she talked about Sonny and Moses. And she had to go in and tweak some things. Did you notice that? How she tweaked some things about what she said about Sonny. Now, Dr. Heavenly asked her, she's like, well, you know, I thought you said that Sonny was encouraging you to leave Moses. And she came in and tweaked that and said, no, she wasn't exactly encouraging me to leave him. She was just saying what she would do in that situation, about him, you know, coming to see her and not coming to see her, and her being flown out and things like that. But it wasn't that she wasn't encouraging me to be with him. I would say, even though that was tweaked, I would say that that is pretty much the same thing. It's like indirectly around about saying that, you know, she could find somebody else because Sonny was indeed trying to fix her up with other people. Maybe at that point in time, and what it's looking like, Sonny, let me get on to you, forehead almighty. What it's looking like is that you were fixing her up with other people because you had eyes for Moses from Jump Street. That's what it looks like. Now, Dr. Heavenly also said that Moses wasn't too bright. And she said that, he dropped out of school to take care of his family at a very early age. And he is business savvy. I admire that in a man. I mean, I don't like Moses' ass because I just think he's beard handsome. All these people going crazy over his looks, but I'm telling you, I think he's beard handsome. I don't think you have to be book smart as long as you can run numbers. That is very admirable. Because my daddy was that way. My daddy made it all the way to the 12th grade. Found out he had an English credit that he had lacked. And didn't go back to school to finish the English credit. So, but as far as running this household, numbers wise and distributing bills to make what was back then was a decent wage between he and my mother, yes. Because this household, for the most part, ran smoothly. So, if you could do that, it's still admirable. And, I joined him saying synced and all that. But, I still respect the fella for doing those things that Destiny described. Taking care of his family, still being able to run businesses, and all of that. And that right there goes back to Destiny. Were you able to glean anything from him in his business acumen? That's the point. That's the point of you being able to come back to the show. What did you learn from him? What did you learn from Melody? You are sitting up there reminding me every bit of Sheree Whitfield. Not taking advantage of this platform. And even though Stormy didn't have to take advantage of the platform, she did. 1 million in sales? Bravo. Do what she's doing. And then you had the nerve, and Dry Bag and Stormy and most of the cast, and had the nerve to, give Stormy her props. But remember, y'all had this back and forth because she wanted to put her products in your store, and then want to go through the proper channels. Because you on the show together, you thought that she was just supposed to set her products up in your store and then not go through the proper channels of business. That's not how any of this works. And then she said, if she's bragging about her other relationships, now mind you, she's gotten into it with Nell and Chris, but we love them. And I love Tisha. And Kimmy does so much for me. And Tisha was there for me after my arrest. Not one time do you hear this woman say, I did for them. Other than Melody, because she said they had a mutual friendship where they did for each other. But not once did I hear this heifer say she poured into these women the way that they poured into her. And in that way, she's just like Tisha. Because even though Tisha expects people to pour into her and she doesn't do it in reverse, Destiny has her beat on that because Destiny is a strong manipulator. Very strong. But I see you, sis, period, in the words of Miss Wanda. Moving right along, let me get into this conversation with Melody and Marcus, and this is going to be real quick as well. Melody started, what happened at the Black Expo, bro? And bro said, well, I saw this little short, bow-legged, bumping curl woman running in behind you. Melon. and all that. I'm talking about the bumper curls and that black gel myself, Jack. And she said, Miller, I want to apologize to you. And then what did I say? And she said, well, I mean, you said, basically the conversation went like this. You said that, you sat there and listened to her respectfully, but you was like, okay, I'm not really about us being cool. And she's like, Mel, I want things could go back to the way they were in the past. And then, Mel, how were things in the past? I'm definitely not interested in going back to the way things were in the past because so much has happened. And besides all that, you said that I couldn't get a man with 4 kids after a divorce, but I got one. And he was like, well, Mark was like, well, that's basically the gist of the conversation because you weren't here for it. And then you walked away after you said you had a man, but she was still running in behind you saying that I apologize for saying that you need to get back with Martell. I want to apologize for all of that, Melon. And she kept saying that she wanted to get things back the way they were, but Melanie had tuned out of the conversation, apparently. And now it's to a situation where Melanie said, I'm minding my own business. I mind my own business. I'm over here running my business. I'm about my business and my children. And here she comes. Every day talking about Melody. Facts. Melody has taken the high road with these people, and the thing about it that irritates them so much is that I believe that she thought that was her inlet to get back on the show. Melanie says, I don't have anything to do with how people come on that show. Right. You have burnt your bridges, Wanda Cakes, sloppy potatoes. You have burnt your bridges. And no amount of apologies to Melody will get you back on the show. And I know a lot of people liked you on the show. Initially, I liked you on the show. I loved the way you had Tisha's back when it came to Marceau. But when you start dipping into the business of the women with Kimmy, with her, she and Melody, where Miss Van standing on the sidelines, when you start overstepping, talking about the children's hair and bringing up other issues that didn't concern your particular family. As a matter of fact, I got online and said maybe it should be a situation you can't film outside, and this is all Carlos. I blame Carlos for this. He gave you he swelled your head up and allowed you to film outside of Marcel and Tisha. That's where your limitation should have been, right there. You should have been limited to filming with them. And that's what I said when they decided to get you off the show. Going across the boundaries and discussing Melody's business with Martell, that didn't concern you. And you overstepped, my dear. Trying to make Kimmy always side with your daughter in her wrongness. And she is wrong as well. I'm going to say a good 85% of the time. That's where you went wrong, sis. You and your stiff hair. From the 90s. But I heard that the French roll is coming back, so girl, you're going to be in. Okay? And don't take this, don't take this in a way where, you know, I'm really just joning you, because that's what we call it in the South, honey, joning. Don't take this away where I'm joning you. Miss Wanda, I think you're a beautiful woman. But you're nosy, you're pushy, judgmental, and don't have any room to judge anybody. And this is just me giving you the tea from a perspective of someone who's observing you. You messed up your own bag from being on the show by overstepping. And with that, I'm going to close. I hope you enjoyed this commentary. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell button so you will be notified when I upload a video. And as I do, when I close, I'm going to chuck them up. Deuces. Again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.